A lot of people been waiting for some type of response. Actually, no. It's the total opposite. I'm actually thankful for certain information. I've been expressing to people behind the scenes that somebody is using different people as a mouthpiece to spread misinformation about me, about my relationship, in various different platforms. I've been getting harassed for a very long time. And when I express concerns, it's like, here you go, here you go. A lot of crazy, weird things that has been happening behind the scenes. Just like sometimes, like I even have like nightmares because when somebody is this obsessed with you and want to ruin you, you don't know what they want from you, not caring about them, not bothering them, and they still bothering you. It freaks.
Now let's set the table properly. According to recent online chatter and audio circulating, Celina Powell is claiming that Offset allegedly had plans to harm Stefon Diggs, specifically referencing an attack on his knee. Let me be very clear from the jump. These are allegations, not proven facts, and no official law enforcement confirmation has been made public. But the reason this story caught fire is because Cardi B herself reacted, saying she was thankful for new information coming to light. And when Cardi speaks in moments like this, people listen because history tells us she does not talk unless she feels something real is happening behind the scenes. The who is obvious: Cardi B, Offset, Stefon Diggs, and Celina Powell, a name that always seems to appear when chaos needs a spokesperson. The when is recent, as these claims surfaced amid ongoing public tension involving Offset's behavior and Cardi's long, very public road of separating herself emotionally and legally from his repeated scandals. The where is the internet, because of course it is. And the what? Allegations of violent intent tied to jealousy, ego, and unchecked recklessness. That's not like gossip. That's serious grown man career-ending type of talk. But wait, there's more. Celina Powell didn't just throw out a vague claim. She leaned into it with that familiar tone she uses when she wants people to believe she knows something others don't. She implied there were conversations, intentions, and a level of animosity aimed at Stefon Diggs that went beyond petty jealousy. Again, allegedly. And the reason people aren't brushing this off immediately is because Offset has a documented history of erratic decision-making, public disrespect, and moving like consequences don't apply to him. Cardi's response is what really shifted the energy. She didn't come out screaming or ranting. Instead, she expressed gratitude that certain information was coming to the surface. That's not how someone talks when they think something is fake. That's how someone talks when they feel validated. When a woman who has been gaslit, embarrassed, and played in public finally sees patterns exposed, that reaction makes sense, and it adds weight. Not proof, but weight to why people are paying attention. Now let's talk about Offset for a second, because this is where the roast naturally begins. At what point does self-sabotage become a lifestyle? You are a wealthy, successful artist, a father, and a public figure, yet your name keeps circling back to chaos, betrayal, and now alleged violent intent. High-value men don't move like this. Logical men don't let jealousy push them into situations that could destroy multiple lives, including their own. If even half of this is remotely true, that's foul behavior on the highest level. And then there's Celina Powell, the human matchstick. Every time she pops up, something is on fire. This doesn't mean she's lying, but it does mean the audience has to stay alert. Her reputation complicates everything she touches. The problem is, when someone known for clout chasing says something this extreme, it forces the people involved to respond, because silence starts to look like avoidance. That's the trap of modern scandal culture: credibility wars mixed with real-life stakes. Stefon Diggs, on the other hand, hasn't been running his mouth. He stayed quiet, focused on his career, and let the noise swirl. And whether people like him or not, threatening or planning harm against someone's body, especially an athlete whose livelihood depends on it, is next-level malicious if true. That's not beef. That's sabotage. That's not gossip. That's potential criminality. And that's why fans are disturbed, not entertained by this angle. Zooming out for a moment, this story reflects a deeper sickness in celebrity culture. Ego unchecked, masculinity tied to possession, women dragged into the crossfire, and a community forced to pick sides instead of demanding accountability across the board. We keep watching these men crash out in real time and then act shocked when the fallout gets ugly. This isn't just about Cardi, Offset, or Stefon. It's about how fame amplifies immaturity and how silence enables repeated dysfunction. Now let's really get into the psychology of this mess, because this is where the story stops being entertaining and starts being uncomfortable. When allegations like this surface, especially involving violence, it forces everyone to look at the patterns instead of the personalities. Offset's name being tied to alleged threats or planning harm isn't shocking to people who've been watching his behavior for years. It's the same man who repeatedly embarrassed his wife publicly, moved reckless without thinking about optics, and acted like apologies were cheat codes instead of real change. When someone shows you who they are consistently, you're supposed to believe them. And Cardi's reaction matters more than people want to admit. This isn't a random baby mama speaking from emotion. This is a woman who built a brand, survived the industry, and knows how things really move behind closed doors. When she says she's thankful for new information, that sounds like someone who's been sitting on concerns, whispers, and half-truths for a long time. It sounds like someone who feels less crazy. Women usually don't say that unless they've been doubted, dismissed, or told they were doing too much while watching red flags stack up. But wait, there's more, because this situation also exposes how dangerous jealousy can become when mixed with fame and entitlement. If any man believes he can allegedly intimidate or harm another man over ego, pride, or a woman, that's a failure of character and leadership. That's not street code, that's not masculinity, and that's definitely not growth. That's insecurity with resources, which is often more dangerous than insecurity with nothing. Then we have the internet's role in all of this. People are treating this like a Netflix series, picking teams, making memes, and arguing personalities instead of pausing to understand the seriousness. Allegations involving potential violence aren't gossip fodder. They're life-altering claims. If false, they destroy reputations. If true, they reveal how close we all were to witnessing something irreversible. Either way, this isn't a win for anyone involved. Celina Powell's presence continues to complicate the narrative, and that's just the truth. Her history makes people skeptical, but skepticism doesn't automatically mean dismissal. Even unreliable messengers can stumble into real information. The problem is, the way she delivers things blurs the line between exposure and exploitation. And that's why stories like this feel so messy, because credibility and clout are constantly wrestling each other for control. Stefon Diggs staying silent might actually be the smartest move here. Silence doesn't always mean guilt or fear. Sometimes it means lawyers are talking, evidence is being reviewed, and emotions are kept out of it. In a culture where everyone rushes to defend themselves on Instagram Live, restraint can be a power move, especially when allegations are flying and anything said can be twisted or weaponized. The broader lesson here is about accountability in celebrity relationships and ego-driven masculinity. Too many men in positions of power believe their status insulates them from consequences. Too many women are expected to endure chaos quietly for the sake of family or image. And too many fans excuse toxic behavior because they like the music, the lifestyle, or the fantasy attached to it. This is why cycles don't break, they're celebrated. This situation also speaks to why public breakups in the Black community often get so ugly. Instead of clean separation, boundaries, and healing, we get retaliation, humiliation, and escalation. pain turns into performance, hurt turns into hostility, and the children, the careers, and the community end up paying the price. That's not growth. That's generational dysfunction wearing designer clothes. So here's the real question I want to leave y'all with. If these allegations are proven false, who takes responsibility for the damage caused? And if they're proven true, why did it take this long for people to take the warning signs seriously? Either way, someone's credibility is about to take a hit, and the truth always has a way of surfacing, whether people are ready or not. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think this is another clout-fueled explosion, or do you believe there's something darker bubbling under the surface that we're just now seeing? Drop your thoughts in the comments, keep the conversation respectful but real, and if you're rocking with the content, be sure to subscribe. This is Gossip Culture, and I'll catch y'all on the next one.